Pulschat.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to our first official, in my opinion, Pulschat. Basically, during the Pulschat, we'll just go over gaming news, updates, just different things that have happened as far as entertainment goes. I am joined by Lil Will the Deity. He has an awesome channel. You guys should definitely check him out. He works with Sick Critic as well. You will be seeing a lot of him here. Same deal with David. He is also a Sick Critic member as well. He works directly with Sick Critic. He's actually a part of it and an editor and a writer. But either way, we're just going to talk about a few things that have happened recently. We'll cover some stuff for E3. Definitely expect to see us doing the Pulschat every Friday. We'll try and find a specific time that we're going to do it, but it will be every Friday. Starting with the next Pulschat, we'll also do giveaways and stuff for people. Gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, PC. Just for the essential consoles that you guys have, so definitely keep that in mind. Also, throughout the week, we will have direct chat minis. We'll pretty much do the same thing we're doing right now, just smaller versions of it. Some of them may be chill screens. You'll also see some reaction stuff during it as well. But yeah, let's get started. It looks like David kind of disappeared, so we'll just be you and I for a second. Well,
nope, I'm here.
And he just appears.
I was about to say, what's going on, chat?
I'm here, I promise.
What's going on? It's Little Will, the
Deity.
Alright, so we're going to actually start off talking about third parties. It's very generic themes here for this one. Third parties, Nintendo news, Xbox's new controller, PlayStation news, and the Q&A at the end. What's funny about the Xbox new controller one specifically is that since Microsoft literally never has anything going on, you can't really say much about them other than their new controller. So that's why that's a topic of its own. So I guess we'll start off with third parties. Do you guys see the new Call of Duty? Anything about the new Call of Duty trailer?
Yes, I did.
You did as well? I actually have not seen the new trailer, anything about the new trailer, and I have very limited knowledge on this new Call of Duty other than the fact that they got rid of the multiplayer, the story mode, excuse me, and they're adding a Battle Royale type gameplay mode to the game. So
yeah, it seems pretty cool. I mean, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't play Call of Duty every year it releases, but I am sort of like on top of it, I guess.
Yeah, and I only get Black Ops personally. That's literally the only franchise I purchase is Black Ops. This one I might not do. I don't know if they left local multiplayer or not, but just the sheer fact of them taking out the story mode is kind of a bummer. So like they would have to give me really good incentive to actually pick this one up. This might be the first Black Ops I don't get.
Yeah.
I will tell you, because I came home the day that they were, having the big reveal for the multiplayer and everything, and I sat back and I watched the entire hour of it. And on prior entries in the whole, even just the Call of Duty series in general, I haven't been like all that hyped on some of their games, like even Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, even Black Ops 3.
I love that one.
I was like, oh, okay, it's another Black Ops game. And then I'm like, but it looks really similar to Advanced Warfare. And they still have all these power-ups. And it was just kind of like, oh, okay, like, it was okay. And I bought all three of them. Like, I have Advanced Warfare. I did not get Infinite Warfare. It was the only one that I specifically was like, you know what? I'm going to skip out on this one because I don't want to put down the money for it. It looks exactly like everything else. I'm done. I watched the entire hour of the Black Ops 4 reveal. I am more excited for this game than I have been since Black Ops 2, and probably even before then. Like, I am super hyped about this game.
Now, what did they change that gets you hyped about it?
Oh, God. I mean, the fact that they said that they were going to treat every single weapon in the game like its own personal character. They, like, if you get a scope or whatever for, you know, just for a gun name, say that you get one for the Vector. Okay, well, that scope is specific to the Vector. You will not see that same type of scope or whatever on another gun, you know? So every single gun has its own specific attachments, clips, grips, silencers, you know, barrels, whatever you want to call it. Those are specific to that one gun. And I really like that it, you know, kind of gives them all a little bit of character, you know. The fact that there is no more wall running, there are no, you know, jetpacks, jumping, you know, abilities. It is all boots on ground warfare. It kind of looks like that they're taking more of a like a slight Rainbow Six Siege, but in like the Black Ops version of doing things. So it does look like you're still having like your classes and everything, and that they, you know, will have specific traits, you know, to each one of them. But yeah, I mean, I just between that, the fact that with like when they showed off the multiplayer, right after that they showed off zombies. Zombies looks really, really interesting. I know in prior or previous entries they've only had one zombies map that they've released, and that was what you played for the entire time until they decided to release their next bit of DLC, and then you got like another map or two. With starting right out the gate with this, you get 3, and each one of them is on a different, you know, thing, and then they might all start off differently too, as far as like what weapons you start off with. One of them is starting on the Titanic ship, and it kind of puts its own little spin on what happens there. Another one is like they're doing some sort of like a ritual thing by like a campfire, and then it sends them to this like almost like a Coliseum looking environment, and some guy activates this like statue or whatever, and it like turns everybody in the fucking stadium into zombies, and it looked really, really cool, and I cannot wait to dive into it. And then the final thing that they showed, and there's not a whole lot of information out there about it, but they showed off Blackout, which is their new battle royale system. And what?
Well, let's take a look at that Blackout trailer, because I actually have not even seen it. So let's take a look at it.
TACOM, recon requesting attack chopper CAS.
Strike team are clear to deploy.
Going off grid.
Check fire. Check fire.
Kill all of them.
We all love Black Ops for its combat experience. But imagine if we took that gameplay experience you know and love, and we spun it on its head. We don't have to describe how Battle Royale works. These games are no secret. We play them too. But for us to even consider this kind of experience, it had to be unique and done in a way only Black Ops could do. A survival game with the best, most refined mechanics in the world, our signature controls and gameplay systems, and the kind of fast-paced action that only Call of Duty can deliver. All in the biggest map we've ever made. And that is just the beginning. We're bringing to bear 10 years worth of Black Ops universe features. Your favorite characters, your favorite weapons, iconic parts of your favorite maps. And we're putting them all in one place. A crazy collision of fun, and letting you navigate it with land, sea, and air vehicles. Something you haven't experienced before. This is something totally new. This is doing Battle Royale the Black Ops way. This is Blackout.
Why does that feel sort of like a lie? Like,
as far as
like he said, you just said that they took out wall running and stuff. It's all boots on the ground. But that guy claims that they took everything from the Black Ops series and put it into the one game.
The characters.
Just the characters.
The characters, and I believe their weapons that they use too are also making it into the Blackout mode. But as far as like special, like jumps and wall runs and everything, like that is all taken out. Like I saw gameplay for multiplayer and everything. You do not see any of that. The only thing that's like that's even somewhat more of like advanced, because the way they propose this or whatever is that it is in between the Black Ops 2 game and the Black Ops 3 game. So it's like we're a little bit more advanced than what Black Ops 2 introduced, but we're not quite to the point that Black Ops 3 was. So, but like after seeing that trailer and everything, to give a little bit more context, is you are able to play as every single like character from every single Black Ops game. So Mason, Soap, or just like all these other characters. Like I don't want to sit here and try to list them all off, whatever. But like, I mean that was huge, and like being able to take all of these Black Ops games and mix them into this one mode is awesome. And the fact too that they said you will be able to use like ground, sea, and air vehicles, which is also huge because no other Battle Royale game, to my knowledge, does that. I know Fortnite only does the building, and PUBG has some ground vehicles, but that's about it. And then they have like a boat that you can get into, but I'll tell you that boat's freaking useless. Not to mention too, this is Call of Duty. So if you can do a Battle Royale system and you can do it well, and you can get 100 people on there, because they haven't said anything about the numbers yet, and you can have it with the polish that Call of Duty has, this has got me really, really excited. Like, this could jump into the ring and be able to contend with PUBG and Fortnite, and kind of, separate the main population between those two games out a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be all in first person, but I think what they've got is going to be really, really neat. And they said too that it's like 1,500 or 15,000 times bigger than Nuketown, which I'm sure as everybody here watching us and everything knows, Nuketown was a very, very small, chaotic map to play on.
Yeah, it was probably the most iconic and popular.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because they redid it like 3 different times. But I mean, I was skeptical about it, and I'm still kind of skeptical on the Battle Royale system. The way that it looks, I'm excited, but I have tempered expectations, because there was a guy that was on Twitter, and he seemed like he was pretty knowledgeable as far as like their engine only holds like max number of players of like 32. So if that's the max number of people that are on that big of a map, then that's gonna be kind of scary, because I don't want it to be like I don't know.
I could imagine that they could optimize in a few different ways.
Well, my only hope is that they get a hold of somebody that knows how to do this. Either you pull in people from like the Fortnite team or whatever, as far as like the networking, and get your engine to be able to withstand capacities of 100 people. I mean, if Fortnite can do it and PUBG can do it, I'm pretty sure Call of Duty can do it. Activision, Blizzard's got the freaking money for it. They can amp up their engine.
Well, I know the Battlefield makers can do it, considering Battlefield 4, I think it was probably the biggest one they made with the 64 players or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, for the Conquest.
I don't know about... what is a game that Activision has had that's been sort of big? I can't think of a big Activision game.
I mean, I don't know how many people were consecutively on stuff, but I mean, Destiny's pretty decently big as
I forgot
far
about
as
Destiny.
Well, and the thing is like, and here's why I think that Call of Duty won't have that big of a problem with it, and why I'm still just kind of like, is because it was just last Call of Duty with World War II the headquarters holds like 49 people in that one tiny area. So it's like, if you can get all those people on that server, you should have no problem getting them on, you know, a big map like that. But I'm still, you know, I'm excited to see that that's what they're doing with their Battle Royale. We're supposed to get something Battle Royale for Battlefield 5, which is going to be shown off on the 23rd of May. So in the next 5 days. I'm curious to see what both of these are going to do, but I'm very excited from what they showed off and what they talked about for Call of Duty. I think they're putting it in the right direction, and they've got me hyped on it. Like I've not been this excited for a Call of Duty game in years. So for them to get me really hyped on it and me like I'm gonna pre-order this shit like real soon here.
Oh well, fair enough. Will, what are your thoughts on Call of Duty before we move on?
Yeah, it seems pretty ambitious on Activision's part. I have no doubt that it'll sell well. You know, it is like Call of Duty. You know, as far as whether anyone likes it or not, I think it's gonna do well.
Well, it's Call of Duty. It's gonna
as far as
well.
like, yeah. I don't know about it like actually impacting the as far as quality goes, impacting the market for I guess Battle Royale games. I guess that would work if they did it right, and I kind of agree with David. They do have a lot of stuff to work out, and they do have sort of obstacles to jump over. But maybe we'll continue to see like Battle Royale games continue to be like the trend for games.
Well, and the thing is too, and I don't mean to cut you off or anything, but like you said, like they have a lot of stuff that they need to show us, and they said that they are going to show us more stuff in the coming months before October 12th, which is when they release. So I'm hoping that they show more than even they did, you know, for this reveal, because they talked a lot more about this than they have in other reveals for Call of Duty games. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I hope that they show more about what the game is. Maybe show some gameplay, give some numbers as to like how many people they're able to get onto a single server, you know, for the Black Ops and or the Blackout, and just some more information so that we understand like more of what this game's going to be about.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know about pre-ordering it. What, October? Yeah, I'll see. They'll have to sell me at E3. I'm going to be honest. They'll have to sell me at E3.
Well, I mean, I hope that they show some stuff for it at E3. I don't know. I mean, I want to say that for a fact that they will, but with them just having this huge reveal yesterday, they might not. They might hold off, or they might show kind of like some of the same stuff at E3 just to kind of keep it in people's minds. Especially when you're showing off all these other huge games. You know, if you showed off Call of Duty now and then you show off, you know, like, you know, if they announce Splinter Cell and if they, you know, do all this other stuff, your Call of Duty is going to be hitting the back part of your mind, and it's, you know, it's not going to be as big. So they might show, like I said, a couple of things here and there just to kind of be like, hey, you guys saw these new games. Don't forget Call of Duty's still here, you know.
Have they shown like gameplay?
They did show multiplayer gameplay for the standard multiplayer reveal. And that was super duper ambitious. Like it literally seems like they were listening to the community this time.
That's new for Activision. So maybe.
Well, I think a lot of it is also just Call of Duty in general. Like Treyarch is, and I think I can honestly speak for this, out of the 3 developers that are making the Call of Duty franchise and the games and everything, Treyarch is the one that is the best. Like everybody's like, man, okay, we know we can trust Treyarch with this game. They're not going to make some, you know, shitty game or anything. So I think that with the fact that Treyarch's behind this, they've had time to sit back and watch what Sledgehammer did with Advanced Warfare, what they did with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and then what Infinity Ward did with Infinity Warfare. They're gonna be like, okay, we like, I mean, even just them not having the wall running and not having the boost jumps or anything like that, already shows that they are listening to their players. Like, people sat back for years now and have been complaining about that. So the fact that they're like, and they made like a fact to point out, like David Vanderhaar was like, oh, do we have any like wall running? And he points to the screen and it just flashes this big word, no. And then he goes, do we have space jumps or whatever? And he points to the screen and goes, no. And he goes, is this game completely boots on the ground warfare? And he points to the screen and he says yes. And it's like, you know, like they made a point to really like focus on that and make sure that those were completely exempt from their game.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I'm
the way they
pumped.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't even hold it in. Like, I'm super duper excited for this game. I've changed backgrounds on my computer and shit
Xanax,
for
bro.
Black Ops 4. Huh?
You need some Xanax.
Dude, I need something. Like I said, I'm not usually one to get super excited about a Call of Duty game. Like, I just past ones, I was just kind of like, oh, it's another Call of Duty. You know, like I'll probably try it. I'm not gonna pre-order it. I'll, you know, my buddies will probably get it. I'll test it then. My brother's a huge Call of Duty fan. He's been trying to do the competitive stuff for years. I was like, he'll buy it. I'll test it out on his game, and then I can make my decision then. For this one, I'm like, nope. You guys have already, like, I'm sold on this. Like, just, I love the Black Ops series. From what I saw in that hour preview, I'm sold.
Well, fair enough.
If they well, you know, granted they even show it again from now to October, they'll have to sell. And like, I know a lot of people complained about the servers for especially on launch day for World War II. So if they you know, it seems, I mean, as far as what I've seen, it seems already better than that.
Well,
so, yeah.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, and I don't want to like dwell on this for too much longer, like, because I know we have other topics that we need to talk about. But that is one of my main concerns, is like, with them having taken out the single player campaign, which, to be honest with you, I'm not all that hurt on. I know a lot of people were kind of upset about that fact. I mean, there's literally polls and stats out there that show that like 66% of people that start single player campaigns for like Call of Duty and everything play like the first 5 minutes of it and then they drop it. And I've played the single player campaign, a little bit of Infinite Warfare, didn't really dig it. I played Black Ops 3. The first like 5 hours of the campaign was a giant ass tutorial, and I beat Advanced Warfare, but it wasn't anything that was like really gripping. Like their stories for those have been dwindling ever since freaking Modern Warfare 2, which was like the height of their freaking campaigns. So the fact that they don't have that doesn't bother me. The fact that it's all multiplayer, you can't have any server issues. Like, you legitimately cannot have them. I don't care what anybody says. If you have any server issues that cause any sort of hiccup, you are going to fuck over your entire community because they have nothing else to fall back on if you're having those issues. Plain and simple. They will go to other games.
Okay. Well, either way, let's move on from Call of Duty. That was a good little Call of Duty thing there. Was there anything other, any other third party, anything that we need to go over at all?
Well, go ahead.
I guess, have you guys played the beta for Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle?
I have.
I think that's I wanted to give that a shout out. I guess we should move on, but yeah, I just want to give that shout out. That's really good. Actually, that game, I don't know if I told you this, Andor, but that game is coming out on my birthday. And definitely getting that game.
Yeah, the only thing I have to say about it, because I am a fighting game fanatic, the only thing I have to say about it is just having 2 attack buttons kind of annoys me a little, but that's about it. Otherwise, I like it a lot. Same deal with Blade Strangers. I'm excited for that one, too. Like, it seems like this is the year for fighting games, because a lot are coming out, and we've had, like, a drought for, like, 5 years. So
yeah, and I heard Guilty Gear and is coming out. And there's also, I forget about it every day, Soul Calibur 6.
Yep.
Dude.
There's Soul Calibur. There's Soul Calibur 6. There's Blade Strangers. There's the cross battle tag thing. There's a game called EX and Layer, I think it's called, that's coming out. And they're talking with Capcom apparently, so they might end up putting Ryu or someone on it. And there are 2 more fighting games that I cannot remember the names of. Oh, the SNK Heroines game for the Switch. And there's 1 other fighting game that I can't remember the name of that's coming out. So
there's Smash. Smash is coming out as well.
Then there's Smash, which I don't put in the fighting game genre personally.
And I'm pretty sure the Mortal Kombat director was hinting at another Mortal Kombat game.
It's time.
I don't know about this year.
Well,
Yeah,
we
I'm
might
about
see
to
it.
see it.
It wouldn't surprise me if they even tease that slightly in like one of the video reels that they'll show. And and I will tell you too, Microsoft, if they're smart, they will have jumped on Ed Boon to get something on their stage for that.
Yeah. That would be interesting if they could do that, because I know Microsoft is, as far as their pool with third parties go, this generation is. I mean, I don't think it's bad. It's just in comparison to Sony, it's not really great.
Well, it's not even their third parties that they need to worry about. It's their first party studios. Their first party lineup is severely lacking when compared to Sony, and they need to do something to amp it up. And I'm not gonna sit back and say like I'm more of a Sony fanboy than an Xbox, because I've got all 3 consoles. So, and I played on them both evenly, I would say, especially more so now than I have probably ever before. And yeah, it's like every now and again, like I pretty much just go to wow, my phone is blowing up. But I don't even know what I was saying, just kind of distracted me. But yeah, I mean they need to focus on their first parties. That's all the more that I'm gonna say on that. But as far as third parties go, I think should be noted that the Division 2 said that they will be releasing sometime before, I believe it was April of next year, and we will be seeing stuff about that from E3.
Well, I still think Microsoft could still, because I was referring to, because they do play a lot of games between third party, like Sony locks certain DLC exclusively to their system with like they just buy third parties out. That's like the game they play.
Oh yeah,
I've noticed that like Sony does that way more aggressively than Microsoft can afford to.
Well, and I don't even.
Yeah, I do agree that Microsoft needs like way more exclusives than what they've got as far as first party goes as well.
Well, and I will say too that the only reason why I think, and I don't even necessarily think it's a case of like how aggressively that Sony goes after their third party studios or whatever, and pays them extra money, saying, hey, if you release this stuff, maybe some of your content arrives on our platform before it does Xbox. The only reason why they actually have more buying power, I guess, than Microsoft is because there's like a shit ton more PlayStation consoles out in the wild than there are Xbox. So if you're a developer or you're a publisher and you want to get this game out to people and you want as many people as possible to not only buy it but play it, so that you can, games as a service is a really big thing now. So if you want to keep, supporting this game and everything, we're going to put it on the console that's got the most, immediately. You're not going to, that's why Xbox has been suffering so much, is they kind of came out the gate with the Xbox One really kind of stumbling, and now they're trying to make up for lost time, and I think it's almost too late for this console generation. But it's like Activision is a huge supporter of Sony.
Xbox is going to do well in the long run.
Well,
they're going to do very, very well in the long run. They're setting themselves up to do well. So
exactly, they are setting themselves up to do well, and I think when they jump into the next console generation, which is probably going to, we are literally on the doorsteps of the next console generation. Within the next 2 years, we're going to hear something about it. That is, I think, where Xbox is going to come out the gate swinging again, like they did with the Xbox 360, and they're going to be ready to go toe-to-toe with Sony again. And I think it's going to be really, I'm hoping Sony doesn't do what they did with the PlayStation 3 and kind of fuck themselves over with the next console generation. I hope that they realize, hey, we did exactly what players wanted with the PlayStation 4. Let's do this. You know, and I want it to be even. I want there to be like some really solid competition between the two. You know, I want a generation where you're going, man, there's 70,000 or 70 million Xbox consoles, and there's 70 million PlayStation consoles out in the wild. Like, they are neck and neck right now as far as, you know, how many they've sold. Like, I want that.
Yeah, I kind of, as far as I think that's why I kind of like Gen, I want to say 6, but I'm not even gonna put a number on it because I know some people view that differently. GameCube, Xbox, and PS2, I think like were the, because like right now people say like, yeah, this is like the best time for gaming. A lot of games come out and stuff. Like, imagine if Sony actually had competition. Like, we would have more Spider-Mans and God of Wars and stuff like that. Like, they would actually have to try and actually have better output as far as their own studio goes, and they would lock less and less third party to their platform. Stuff like that. Like, competition is always good. So I kind of agree with your point there, David.
Yeah, I mean, competition's only going to be better for everybody. So it's like, if Microsoft can come out the gate, like I said, next console generation, they can be like, hey, listen, like, don't discount us yet. Like, we kind of stumbled, we made some bad decisions, you know, some bad choices and everything the last generation, but we've learned from those. I don't think Phil Spencer's going to lead them in a wrong direction. They're going to do good next generation for sure. And like Andrew said, they are definitely setting themselves up to do solid next one.
Yeah.
Well, since we're pretty much on the topic of Microsoft, I moved the Nintendo one down one, and we're just going to talk about the adaptive controller now. Have you guys looked into that controller at all?
Yes.
Have you, Will?
I know what it is, though.
It basically, to me, just looks like a really awesome turntable.
I can't even disagree with you, because when I first saw it, I was like, it's a turntable. Like, they're bringing out another like music game or something, like DJ Hero 4.
Oh my God, don't even. Well, let's take a look at the trailer for the adaptive controller. This controller definitely is a good way to pretty much pull in any gamer that has any kind of disability. Because like I said, with my uncle, he's not able to play anything. He's only able to watch me play. He enjoys doing that, but he wants to play games so bad. He's just not able to. But now that this controller is a thing, he is fully capable of actually playing whatever comes out at this point. I think that controller is a brilliant idea. But what are your thoughts on this controller, both of you?
I'll let Will go first because I kind of stole a lot of time for the Xbox or for the Black Ops thing.
Yeah, no problem. Well, yeah, I think when it comes to, it's a really cool idea, but to sort of finish off what I was going to say the last time, I was going to say, and I guess it kind of feeds into this. I think Phil Spencer is a really cool person. That's why it's kind of sad to see Xbox failing so hard. But yeah, moving on to this adaptive controller, I know what it is. It's almost like the ultimate like. I think it's really cool. I think the idea is really cool. I've read articles, and all of them say like it allows disabled players to play games like basically just as well as your elite player or whatever. I think that idea is really cool, and it really shows how pro. It's really cool. It's pro consumer, and I think Xbox, it's a really good job on their part, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like the idea of this controller because there's so many different ways. I think it caters to every single person that is trying to play whatever problem they have where their hands or even if they don't have hands are able to play. It caters to all of that because the two black circles are touch sensitive on all sides, and you know, and it's all touch sensitive. It has pressure sensitivity, so there are multiple ways you can customize whatever you're playing. And then, as you saw on the back of it on the video, if we can turn around, if you could see this, it shows different peripherals. For example, if someone has only one arm, they can totally use that foot paddle to adjust controls to, and it's the same deal with whatever that is. That's kind of scary looking. But see, we have a regular mouse pad. We have the two button pads there. We have that joystick. There's so many different ways this thing can be used, and it even shows here LR, and every function that you need, you just plug in whatever device you have into that, and it allows that function to be used through whatever controller you're using. I think it is an amazing idea, and I've seen plenty of people out there annoyingly say, "Oh, this is dumb." For one, it's not for you. Or someone saying, "Oh, this is too much money." For one, it's not for you. Most people spend between $60 to $80 on a controller. This is a controller for someone that is completely unable to game properly, or at least comfortably. That's worth the money. This is a controller you can use for PC and a controller that you can use for your Xbox. And anybody that says anything negative towards it is going to hell.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in hell, I really hope you... I'm not even going to say it.
Well, no, and I agree with you on that. Like, it's a case of, yeah, for people that are sitting back and saying that, oh, you know, this is too much money, you know, all this other stuff, like you said, it is not for you. And I will be totally honest with you, like, I love video games. Like, video games have gotten me through a lot of hard times in my life, and if I was ever to a point of being disabled to where I couldn't play with the conventional controller, and I saw this, I'd be like, okay, I'll drop $200 on this just so I have two, you know, just so that I have something as a backup in case it breaks. Where, like, this is awesome. This is another perfect example of why I think Microsoft is setting themselves up to really, like, for a comeback, you know, just to kind of somewhat compete on the same level as Sony. And just, yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good things about this. I'm really, really proud of Microsoft for doing this.
Yeah, I personally think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And
That's
even... Oh, what's up?
Oh.
Eh?
I thought you said something. I think it's a good idea, and it's almost like the Nintendo Labo thing. Like, you have like 50-year-old people saying, "I don't get it." What? It's like probably because it's for kids. Like, most people are like, and just in general, disabled people. Just speaking in general, speaking very seriously here. In general, they are a lot usually there are more expenses in order to like maintain these people. So in general, I'm not really surprised at the price. I think it's a very appropriate price.
Oh yeah, and I know I was talking to, I think it was in the chat, Shanimates. You know, he was saying like, of course, Microsoft would make, you know, the disabled ones spend more money, and it's like, yeah, but you got to figure in the fact that all of the tech that's going into that, and all of the peripherals and stuff that you're getting, like $100 really isn't that much compared to everything that you're getting. And again, if you're somebody that maybe wasn't disabled before but is now, and somebody that was a huge gamer, like, you're going to want to spend the money on this just so that you can keep your passion and your hobby or, you know, whatever alive still by playing these games, you know, so that you're not, you know, looking at these games going, man, you know, Halo 6 just dropped. I can't play it though because I don't, you know, like I'm slightly handicapped and I can't hold the conventional controller and I can't, you know, do certain things that maybe normal people can, you know.
Although I will note one thing, at the same time agreeing with Master Smash and Shanty Animates, Shanimates. Sorry. One thing I will agree with them on. The controller itself is not expensive. But all those extra peripherals you see in this video, they don't come with it. They don't come with it at all. That's what makes it expensive. From what I read is that it's literally just this. This is the only thing you get, is this controller here. So all those extra parts, you're going to have to buy separately. That's at least what I read. From the information that I have, none of that stuff comes with this, and that's what would make it expensive. Because you spend the $100, right? And sure, you are capable of playing some games with just this, I'm sure, because it's all pressure sensitive in each direction. Kind of like the Steam controller. But on the same exact note, if someone can't use that, they're going to have to get one of these extra parts. And that might cost, even if it's 20 bucks. Like, if it's $10 a piece, probably not that bad. But let's be real, it won't be. That's where it becomes too expensive, and I'll have to agree with Master Smash and Shane Animates. I would have to agree with them 100%. On
I hope that they don't do that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that more, but from what I know, that's what would make it really, really expensive.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it kind of reminds me of, like, way back when the Nintendo Switch was, well, actually, yeah. It was before the Nintendo Switch conference, and everyone was like, you know, hidden costs of the Switch, and I almost agree with you right there. You make a very good point, but I see the sort of, it's like a middle ground there with like a gray area. It's like, well, on one hand, Microsoft isn't holding a gun to your head, but at the same time, you could almost make the argument that they are leaving certain stuff out. Like, if you're going to advertise a peripheral with it, then it's like they almost are painting it as the ideal way. So it's I can see there's a big gray area. There's a lot of debate that could go down there.
Well, the thing that'll make this worthwhile is if, like, for example, let's say someone goes to the store. Let's say someone that only has one arm, right, goes to the store. So they pick this thing up and they get the foot paddle and just this with the foot paddle, right? And that's like $120. Let's just say that. Now, it would be a cool incentive if Microsoft did that and let you choose a game of your own for free or something like that to go with it. So, sure, you're buying this stuff, you're spending a lot, but you can at least walk away with a game as well. I feel like that's something they should do, but, you know, I don't know. Either way, it's expensive in that regard.
I mean, yeah, it depends. It depends on like I think from a person-to-person basis. I'm sure, like us, we would imagine having like all the options in the world, like that analog stick. I think that would be pretty cool. But like another person would be like, oh, the touchpad seems all right. I mean, I don't really have a want for anything else. So I think it depends, honestly.
Yeah, and back to that thing you said about the Switch really quick. The hidden costs. Everyone that said stuff like that, I think they're all dumb. Because it's like, there isn't really a hidden cost. Because the Switch gives you the console, the 2 controllers, and that's it. Just like any other console gives you, and shit, any other console gives you the console and 1 controller. So like with the Switch, you have your console, your 2 controllers, that's it. So you got to go buy games. So like, I don't understand exactly what a hidden cost would be. Somebody would have to explain that to me, because every time I would hear people say that, I'm confused. I'm like, what do you mean by hidden cost? What's hidden? Like when I bought my Switch, I knew what I was getting straight out of the box. Like, so
I think part of that back then was like everyone wanted to be that cynical Nintendo person. Like everyone wanted to be that clickbait edgelord. They're like, "Oh yeah, Nintendo's gonna fail again, and I can't wait to laugh at you Nintendo dorks." It's like everyone wanted to be that person then. So I mean, back then it was almost cool to hate Nintendo, honestly, especially with the Wii U. I mean, I just want to move on from that.
yeah, because I never and see you later, dude. Thanks for hanging out. It was definitely nice to have you here. But yeah, the last thing I'm gonna say about that is I just didn't understand the hidden cost, because it's like, I got my system, I got my 2 controllers with it, might I add. So with that being said, you don't have to have an extra dock. Just like any other system, you can unplug your shit, bring it to another TV. If you need extra controllers to play with people, that's just like any other console. If you need a game to play, it's just like any other console. You don't have to have the little grips and stuff. That's not a hidden cost. If someone wants to bitch that the thing is too small, then I guess that's your fucking problem. Because, I mean, like, it's not a hidden cost. You claim it's too small, so you go get it. It's just like people that buy a PlayStation, like myself, and said, I don't like any controller PlayStation makes, which I don't.
Right.
That's not a hidden cost just because I wait for a third party to make one that looks like an Xbox controller and go buy it. That's just because I didn't like the one that came with it. I mean, it's not any different.
Not having a game, not having a game bundled in, I think that's a bad. I mean, I guess you could make an argument for it in a different way, but I don't think it's a hidden cost. It's like if you're buying a game, yeah, if you're buying a game system, buy a game. Be prepared to buy a game.
Well, and even some bundles, let's
not even talk about bundles. Like, fucking any system on launch day does not come out with a game. I've been gaming for 20 years straight, buying every console that comes out that's been out since I've existed. Launch day, they don't come with a system. The only ones that did, with the game, the only ones that did was Sega Genesis. It was Sega Genesis, because Sega was making a statement. But Nintendo, you had to go buy the game, blah, blah. The games don't come with the system launch day. That's like something that happens 2 months in, if not longer. So it's like,
yeah,
it's just not at my PS. Day 1 of the Xbox One and PS4, I bought 6 games. That shit didn't come with a fucking trigger. Yeah. People expect way too much. People are way too pampered. Like, no.
My PS4 Slim didn't come with the game, and my launch PS4 didn't come with the game either.
Yeah, they don't.
No.
Games.
My Slim came with Uncharted 4. Never mind.
But that wasn't launch day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I mean, the Wii did come with Wii Sports, so let me backtrack. But see, the Wii came with Wii Sports because Nintendo was making a statement for themselves. That's the difference. For example, when the Xbox Kinect came out, the Kinect came with a game, so that it could showcase what the Kinect is capable of. The Wii came with a game to showcase what the Wii was capable of. So, systems with unique peripherals and unique play styles come with a game to show what that system is capable of. But we can't say that for the Switch, because the Switch, you already knew it was capable of. You could take the shit on the go. So it's like it didn't need to come with the game. Yeah. The iToy came with the game. PlayStation can't. Sony's cheap as hell. They don't give you anything normally. But I'm sure you get what I'm saying. So it's like, that's like such a dumb argument that people try to make. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could make the case for what's that stupid game called? 1-2 Switch. I mean, I guess you could make a case for that. Yeah.
That should have just came with it. It's not that great, but I mean, it definitely would have been better received if it did. Because 1-2 Switch, no offense to Nintendo or anyone that even enjoyed it, it definitely was like a $10 little thing. Like,
yeah, that was like barely a game. I'm sure that didn't cost them anything. Like, I'm fairly certain every single person in that game was like a volunteer. Like, if Reggie showed up at my door and was like, "Hey, you want to be part of the new Nintendo system?" I would jump on board for free.
Yep.
Like, I would jump on board for free. I'm sure that costed nothing for them to make. And there's no, like, substance there.
Well, funny enough, 1-2 Switch sold better than Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and a couple other games. Like, I find that funny.
Yeah.
Like, it was
that's crazy.
It did well. And people actually really liked it for the first day that they had it. Like, it's cool the first day. It's cool the first day. It's a great little experience. But that's as far as it can ever be, is an experience. So... yeah. So now that we've broken into the Nintendo stratosphere, now we're on Nintendo information, Nintendo news. So first thing, I want to start this Nintendo news off with, before we talk about Pokemon or anything else, is this. Will, you and I already spoke a little bit about this, so we're just going to talk a tiny bit more, see if our thoughts have changed at all. And now that we have David here, we can get his perspective on this as well. So, this online thing. So, let's go over the outline of the online features. Online play, it lets you play games you already own. I'm just going to be a butthole about this. Games you already own, and then games that are coming out later, you'll have to pay for online to play coming up here pretty soon. I work for Nintendo. But my own personal opinion, it's a little unfair. Just a little. Because if I'm already able to play these games now, why should I have to pay to play them later? How come it can't be games starting that day moving forward you pay for rather than what you're already playing? It makes sense from a business standpoint. Also, it makes sense in the form of when you have free online, games aren't... the online sucks. Any PS3 owner that says they had a good server, no server issues and stuff, are lying to themselves, and they need to stop being fanboys. Because the PS3 services for online were garbage. The services for online were also garbage for Wii and any system that you got it for free for. So being able to, all the disconnects that even the people that are here right now that play Splatoon with me, that disconnect from my matches in Splatoon, that should not be a problem anymore once this online is paid for. And that's what I'm expecting the online to do, is to have better, stronger servers and connections and more dedicated servers, because that's typically what comes with a paid subscription service for online consoles. That's the only reason why I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like as you spoke to me, you had an epiphany. Okay, so like little Timmy is like, it's like playing a Splatoon. He has no idea Nintendo is about to smack him so hard with it. It's just like, it's just like you have disconnected from the match. He's like, oh, this happens all the time. He just starts another one back up. It's like, sorry, man, pay $5. He's like, what?
Fucking little Timmy.
Like, what?
They are fucking little Timmy.
I mean, to be real, that's another thought. I think you and I spoke of that. All the people subscribed to the channel that play Mario Kart with me and play Splatoon with me are up for a rude awakening where they get on their Switch one day, I'm playing Splatoon, and they can't join me because they don't have the online service. But Nintendo did try to cater to that by making their online incredibly cheap. So,
well, the fact that they're giving pretty much the same shit that Sony and Microsoft are both giving, but for like a third of the price.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. Because let's go over what you're getting for this. The Nintendo Entertainment System, blah blah blah. Enjoy 20 NES games with added online play that has never been there before. So let's touch base on this along with Virtual Console. So I'm going to go off the bat and say on record a second time, Virtual Console is not really dead. It's not dead. Do not think it's dead. Stop thinking it's dead. It's not dead. Nintendo said that they're rebranding it. Basically, in a nutshell, they are rebranding it. They're not using the Virtual Console brand. It's going to be a new name, and I have a feeling it's going to be through this. Because this, in a nutshell, is like Virtual Console. Except for what they're doing is allowing you to enable multiplayer for some of these games, so it's whatever. I'm pretty sure they're going to have something similar to Xbox Game Pass in a way where you'll be able to buy whatever game is later on to own it fully, rather than, you know, because they've already said the service will launch with these games. These are games that they're going to have. They're going to add right here with new games added regularly. Sounds like Xbox Game Pass in a way. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be adding games to it. Maybe GameCube, maybe Wii, doesn't matter. But either way, they're doing something along those lines. Virtual Console isn't dead. It's just going to have a new brand and a new name added to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was the clickbait. And that's like, it's just a modern day media thing. Anyways, the clickbait was, yeah, Nintendo said it's not coming, so it's not coming ever in any way, in any form. And now we're like, we're here now trying to explain to everyone that that's not necessarily the case. Yeah, I don't like. It's hard to. I refuse to like believe that like they're done completely with it now. As far as right. And like as far as like David, I kind of agree with him. It's like it's all of them. Like Microsoft and Sony like have the same shit, and then Nintendo's probably gonna have the exact same shit for cheaper. But it's all like, I'm sorry, but the PS4 servers they aren't especially good. Like I don't mind paid online as like an idea. Like it's really cool. I just don't like that it's a paywall. And I've discussed this with like multiple people since I made my video on it. I just don't like that it's a paywall instead of a subscription, a true subscription.
Well, in a way, it's still a true subscription. It's just, here's the thing, and Sony needs to be slapped in the face. But as far as, you know, it is a paid subscription in a way. They do tether it behind online, but in order to have clouds, in order to have the cloud, or in order to have dedicated servers, and in order to have smooth gameplay while playing online, it needs to be paid for, because they can't offer those servers for free. Servers cost money, and a lot of it. Even for Sick Critic, they can vouch for that. It's not cheap to have a server. It's not cheap to have a website or anything close. Even my Etsy page, I gotta pay monthly to have it.
I don't personally pay for it, but I've heard from Devin the numbers that he's had to drop, and it's not cheap.
Yeah, keeping servers open is not cheap. So having to pay for it, I'm okay with it, because that means they're gonna give you real servers rather than like ones that the game specifically has. It'll be one for the system overall. Therefore, it should be a smoother experience. But PlayStation, the reason why they put their paywall on for paying for online with PS4 wasn't for that. Their servers still suck ass even on PS4. They're slightly better than PS3. Like, you don't disconnect as often. But Sony only did it because they were losing money, and they were losing money hard. The PS3 did not do well. People, for some reason, think it did. They did not look at the numbers. They did not work in retail. They didn't. PS3 didn't do that well. Sony was going bankrupt. They were doing bad. They weren't going bankrupt, but they were doing bad. The PlayStation wasn't doing that well, and Sony wasn't doing well just in general. They started to do well with the PS4. And with that being said, when the PS4 first launched, having the paid online was their way of getting money back that they lost through PS3. Now, I'm not going to tell you PS3 did absolutely terrible or anything. It just didn't sell as well as they wanted it to, because they had 6 or 7 of them launch day. They had the fucking 20 gigabyte model, 60 gigabyte model, 120 gigabyte model. And then this one plays PlayStation 2 games. This one doesn't play PS2 games. This model has this. This model has this feature. Here, all 7 models or whatever, you can choose day one. That hurt them the first time. And
yeah,
so many things. Yeah, so it's like, the easiest way to get that money back is how? Paid services. Easiest way. Hey, you can't get on our system online anymore because now you have to pay for it because we don't have the money to keep this shit alive.
That's the thing. I don't, and even on Microsoft's side, I would rather them like, because I know that there are people that are willing to pay for service. There are people that are educated enough to say, hey, if I throw money at Sony, they'll give me a better service. I don't think it's every consumer's job to say, hey, I'm going to keep your company afloat because I don't have a choice. I think the incentives and stuff like that should do their job, and like people should willingly hop on. I don't like. I think it's more of like, it's just bad. It's personally, I just think it's anti-consumer and unethical. Like a lot of people can't afford. Like there are people that never ask for that, and those people get hit hard. But there are people that do ask for that, and I do think that if those people alone, I think will be enough to maintain the servers. Because I'm pretty sure Sony said they make way more than enough already off the servers. So
nowadays,
yeah, I don't like I don't like that it's not an optional. Like you don't have a choice. Like if you want to do something as basic as like play with a friend, you're gonna have to give us money, way more than we need.
Yeah, and I just a little caveat. I don't like the way PlayStation's online works still. Because, like, for example, with Xbox, if I want to invite a friend to a game, I literally can just do it through the Xbox itself, which goes on to what Robotech is talking about being incorrect. Dedicated servers are not through the company that made the game, it's through the company that made the console. For example, which is what I'm about to say, with the PS4, when you want to invite a friend to a game, you have to do it through the game, because that's the game server, right? So that's what I'm talking about right there, Robotech. So you're hearing this. When you are playing a PlayStation game, you invite that person through the game because that's that game server. When you're playing the Xbox, having dedicated servers, you don't have to invite them through the game. You can go to their profile and push invite, which is so much easier. You don't have to figure out how to get your friend into the game. You just invite them. Monster Hunter, perfect example on Xbox. I can invite my friend through their profile. On the PlayStation, I have to shoot a fucking beacon into the air and wait for them to join if they can get into the game. That's the difference between dedicated and not dedicated. Dedicated is for the console. Not dedicated is for the game specifically. That's what makes the difference. And Sony doesn't have dedicated servers.
I don't know. I think I see what they're trying to say. Okay, so like GTA 5, we all know this. It is the most profitable anything ever.
Yep.
Like as of 2018. So
$6 billion.
And yeah, clearly Rockstar runs their own servers.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, Sony does it like they don't have their own dedicated servers really, but they still force that on Rockstar. Like they're just so I just think they're shitty, honestly, with that specifically.
Well, I think the thing is I think as far as the network connectivity and the pathway that you take to connect to like the servers for Rockstar or whatever, or any game developer, you have to go through Sony servers first. So that might be something that like Xbox was like, hey, if you just want to invite somebody, to your game or whatever, you can just, like, we're adding that feature from our server. You can just go and find them as a friend and send them an invite, whereas Sony's like, they just don't have that feature,
And see, and that's a feature Xbox had since the 360. Just go and invite. But see, the 360 didn't have the dedicated servers, and they were still able to do that. So it's like, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like Sony's doing it wrong. Japan just does it wrong. We'll just say Japan as a whole shit.
Yeah,
Japan does multiplayer wrong.
Right, definitely. Because aren't there, like, just in general in Japan, their servers are
Garbage.
not that good. Yeah, I don't want to be mean, but yeah, garbage.
Like any game that I have from Japan, for the most part, you can't even. There's no real invitation system anyway. You have to put in numbers, and then they have to type in numbers, and they get in your game. There's something stupid. Like,
Have you ever played Monster Hunter with like a Japanese person? Like their character, like
all the time.
Their character just teleports around the map. It's so bad.
Dude, those motherfuckers just hop in my game. I'm just like, I don't know who Bushido 293 is, but I didn't even invite you to join my thing. He just like joined my shit. I'm like, all right.
Well, okay, guys. So let's continue with this online service thing. So the next thing that's with that, save data cloud backup. Yes, you have to pay for that. I'm not even going to complain about that. It is something they should have had from the get-go, but they didn't have their online service, and they did move the date back to that service twice. Having those cloud servers is helpful because when you go to a friend's house, you still have your data. If you're on a new Switch, you still have your saved data. If your Switch breaks, you have your saved data still. So I agree with it 100%. There's not really much that can be said about that. So
yeah, I agree with that 100% too. I do think though that there should be like a completely different way, like innately to the Switch, to be able to like save your data or like save a copy of your data like they did on the 3DS, where it was just offline and you didn't have to pay for it, and it didn't cost Nintendo anything.
Or even let you save the data to your micro SD card rather than the console.
Right. Right. So that's like, I'm sure it's going to come in the future, so I'm not even going to be that person. That's going to come in the future.
Yeah. Now, this Nintendo Switch Online app, I know you and I touched based on it before. Basically, it needs to have less integration with the phone as far as talking. That's my only issue, because talking to people, if I had to set up my party on my phone, I'm okay with that. But I don't want to talk to people on my phone. I want to talk to them on the Switch. But being able to purchase things on the phone, like you already do with Splatoon, which I'm still very impressed about, everything that you can do with it already, fine. I'm okay with it. Adding your store to it so you can buy games on the phone itself, fine, I'm okay with it. Setting up your parties on the phone, I'm okay with it. Servers, I'm okay with it. I shouldn't have to talk to people on it, though. That's my only thing.
Right.
So
yeah, they should have had dedicated voice chat directly from the Switch. But my only reason as to why they did not do that, and they probably won't do that unless they come out with some other sort of iteration on the Switch, is they've already crammed so much shit into that tiny little console. They probably didn't have any more, like, I'm sure that, that requires more hardware, and they just didn't have the space on that thing to throw in anything else. So, I mean, I understand why, you know, I mean,
well, I mean, there's a headphone jack, though. Wouldn't that just be a program, like if they put Discord or Skype on it?
I think that's just software. I don't think that's hardware.
But the thing is, the headphone jack might be different if you're only getting audio, and then also if you have to, because you figure, like, I don't know, because I'm not like a super like hardware guru or anything, but like I don't know if the software or the hardware is any different if you're also able to like have it accept like an input instead of only doing outputs. Like, it's only just like outputting sound. So if you're trying to input your voice and everything, I don't know if that hardware is bigger. I don't know.
I get it, yeah, because my computer is a prime example. On the back, there's 4 ports, one for audio in, audio out, mic in, mic out. So mic out, I still don't understand, but
well, and even on my laptop that I'm using right now, like, my headphones go in one port, and that's specifically for sound, and then it has another port for if you have like a mic. So
yeah, I get it. That makes sense. That does make the Switch a lot cheaper. Then let's do this, because I am still that guy, and I'm always gonna have something to combat what you have to say. Bluetooth audio.
Yeah.
So that didn't stop Apple with their stupid Airs. They could totally make a Bluetooth headset for the Switch that will enable you to talk via the Switch.
Yeah.
So that's still a way around it.
You still have to have a, I mean, unless
the Switch has Bluetooth connection. That's how the controllers are connected to it.
Actually, yeah, the Switch has really good Bluetooth.
Yeah, that's how the
controllers. But that might be something more. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they could do it with an update if they really wanted to. That might be more software where they might have it specifically designated to only, you know, read for the Nintendo products or whatever.
Well, Nintendo headset, Microsoft and Sony have their own headsets. The Microsoft has their studio headset, and Sony has their crappy gold headset, which no one should ever buy it. I don't. It's garbage. They crack around the earmuff for no fucking reason. Waste of money. But Nintendo's already branded their own headset for Splatoon. Just make it wireless.
They've already branded their own headset, period. I mean, they've got a ton of them, but they're like wired and they're specifically for the phone.
Yeah.
But okay, let me put it to you this way too. Like, if that's the smallest like downside to the Switch, like, it's a small, you know, con that I have to deal with. Like, oh, okay, if I want to talk to somebody, I have to use my phone. I can either use their Nintendo chat or I can use Discord or whatever. Like, you know, it's a little bit of an inconvenience, but the fact that I can take this thing anywhere and play Zelda, play Smash Bros, play Minecraft, whatever the fuck else that you want to play, like that, yeah. I mean, I understand it's a topic we're talking about, but man, I'm still like, dude, I can take this fucker anywhere I want to. I'm gonna be taking it on the road with me down to Florida. So for the entire like 15-hour trip that I'm gonna be in a fucking car, I'm gonna be able to play my Nintendo Switch, which
I do
you
think
can't
that,
say with
like,
any other fucking console.
To an extent, it is like even like the most casual of consumers. I think there is like a certain level of understanding that the Switch is obviously an amazing piece of technology, and that sometimes sacrifices will have to be made. But I do think, I mean, I don't think anything is going to happen to the Switch. I don't think the sales are going to drop. Actually, pretty sure the Switch is like the fastest selling system ever as far as right now. But I still think that if it's possible, I think they.
Well, and the thing too is they could do something like, you know, like what Sony and Microsoft have done, where they've taken their launch console and they've just revamped it. They've made it smaller. The technology's there to be able to do that, you know. So they might be able to make this thing maybe the same size or maybe a little tiny bit bigger, maybe with like a bigger screen or something, and it's gonna have better stuff on it.
Well, what they just need to do is just get rid of the 3DS, just continue to make the Switch the way it is. You even make an upgraded one, just get rid of that crappy ass, stupid, garbage 3DS. Well, just you're watching on your 3DS. That's actually impressive. They need to get rid of 3DS and focus on Switch so that it has everything it needs. But I will be real about this online thing. I do have my phone with me at all times. When I do play games with people nowadays, typically on Discord, and I mean, it's not that bad to have to use my phone, but that is something else that needs to be charged that I'll have on me. That's the only other problem. But
yeah, I kind of
saying that I don't want 3DS, Candyman, it's because all throughout the Wii U cycle, throughout the entire Wii U cycle, the games that came out on 3DS should have come out on Wii U. Wii U died because Nintendo focused on 3DS so hard and let the Wii U suffer. They're like, oh, look at this game that's coming out. People are like, oh, hype, that looks awesome. What system? 3DS. Why? Why? And that was like throughout the entire Wii U cycle for me. Every time a game would come out that looked really cool, I'm like, why is this not for Wii U? Why is this 3DS? Every game, I'm like, why is this for 3DS? Like, for example, they showed, there was that trailer that leaked. I don't even know if it's real anymore, but Majora's Mask for Wii U trailer. I'm sure everyone remembers seeing that super high quality one. And then we got a 3DS remake for Majora's Mask. Why wasn't that for the Wii U? So, like, there's so many reasons why the Wii U could have done better if the 3DS wasn't around.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. They kind of fucked themselves when they brought out the Wii U because, and I think we've had this conversation before, where when they first announced that, so many people
were confused.
Well, yeah, they were confused. They thought it was like an add-on to the Wii. They're like, I don't understand what this is. And then they're like, nope, this is a brand new console, everybody. Hi. And everybody's like, I don't get it. Like, why? We love the Wii U. This thing is the, you know, I think not only is it one of the fastest selling consoles, but I think it still holds like the highest console sales ever.
Yep.
Like, they've sold like over 100 million consoles for it. So it's like, you know, like, I don't know why you had to.
Yeah, well, the Wii U definitely would have been saved if it had the games that 3DS kept coming out with. The Wii U would have been perfectly fine. It's just 3DS continued to get those really good games and really good heavy hitters. And, I mean, yeah, 3DS continued to get that, and the Wii U just didn't get any of it. And that's why, because, like, you would see, like, oh yeah, here's Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Everyone's freaking excited. We love Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. We get to have a new Luigi's Mansion. And then it zooms out, 3DS. Oh, okay, what are we getting on Wii U? Fucking silence. So it's like, Come on. You guys would have done better. It doesn't matter if the Wii U's marketing was bad. It would have done better if the game didn't come out in 3DS, because people would have been like, hey, there's a new Luigi's Mansion. I want to get that. What's that on again? The Wii? No, it's on the Wii U. Oh, that new system.
The 3DS is just all of Nintendo's portable consoles just do better than their home consoles.
And that's why they were smart for making them both one.
Yeah,
and so since
really
they're
good.
both one, I'm happy they seem like they are right now, but they need to just let the 3DS slowly drift away. They need to,
I agree.
or else that'll hurt. It's not hurting the Wii U yet, but it could have hurt the Switch yet, but it could hurt the Switch. As of right now, it's not, because the new Pokemon and new Zelda, blah, blah, blah. But it definitely had a chance. Like that Metroid 3DS Returns, Samus Returns thing. That should have been on the Switch. The Metroid Switch. The Mario Party, the 100 thing Mario Party that I can't remember the name of right now, as I didn't buy it because I don't support 3DS anymore. That should have been on the Wii U. Fuck, that should have been on the Switch.
But those are kind of like pad outs. Like, that just sounds like a pad out. Like, okay, like the 3DS is slowly dying. Let's just put some bullshit on there. They're like, how about really dumb mini games from Mario Party? And then it's like perfect, and they just throw it on there.
That's true.
Like,
but I still feel like they should be on the Switch. Because since it's not a full Mario Party, I bet you it would go on there for cheaper. But like that last Direct they had, or 2 Directs ago when they showed off all the 3DS games, a lot of those I said, why isn't that on Switch? Like the Luigi's Mansion. Like, why isn't that on Switch? Why isn't that on Switch? Why is that on... Like, I'm tired of saying, why isn't that on Switch? Detective Pikachu should have been on Switch.
Oh yeah,
I bought it on 3DS. I played it for a little bit. Wasn't me. I got tired of looking at the tiny ass screen, so I sold the game. I don't have it anymore. I have the amiibo though, sitting right here, right next to me. Really nice amiibo, really big. But I don't know. It's time for them to move on.
All right, you guys keep talking. I will be right back.
Okay.
all right.
Oh well, yeah, because this one you can't even put some input into.
As far as I think it was already like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it was already painfully obvious to Nintendo that like the Wii U was gonna be like it's gonna be like the Wii U, like we slowly heard every investors meeting where they were like, yeah, the Wii U failed to meet our expectations again. So I mean, I kind of don't blame them for not putting anything on the Wii U. To be honest,
Either way, it still would have, because like, what saved the Wii U for a couple months? When they announced Mario Kart, the Wii U sold really well. When they announced Smash Brothers, the Wii U sold really well. When they announced Bayonetta 2, the Wii U sold really well. Unfortunately, when they announced Star Fox, the Wii U sold really well. So if those games, but then when they announced Pokemon, 3DS sold well. Metroid, 3DS sold well. Animal Crossing, 3DS sold. I can continue. So it's Mario Party, an actual Mario Party game, I might add. 3DS sold again. So it's like, why aren't they? You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
I do kind of. I do feel, because I know there was one point where it was like, it was just bad, like it was ratchet, like Nintendo was just being ratchet to the Wii U. Whereas like they were like, holy shit, there was nothing there for the Wii U. There was one E3 where there was nothing there for the Wii U. It was like Skylanders. That was the only thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? What? Everything is going to the 3DS. Like it was sad, honestly.
Yeah. Well, moving on that, because I believe we are done. Well, no, we have one more thing with the Nintendo Online, and that's the pricing. $3.99 for 1 month. And I don't care how old you are. Even if you're 5, your parents are probably not very nice if they can't at least give you $3.99. I mean that's cheap. 3 months for $8. Come on, they at least made it to where anyone can pay for it.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I did have money at all times. I at least had $10 at all times. $10 with my $10 for that 1 week of allowance of mowing the lawn pays for 3 months of my Nintendo service, the one thing I use a lot. They'll at least teach kids the responsibility. Give them incentive to do some work to get a little bit of money so they can play their Switch online. So I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. If the pricing was different than this, I wouldn't be, but that's cheap. That's really cheap.
It is extremely cheap. It's really hard to complain about it. I do think that there is like a silver lining there where it's like, but there are some dirt poor people out there. But at the same time, like you made a really good point, like, and I don't want to be like insensitive or anything, but like, get a job, mow some grass, do some side hustles, sell some dope.
My God.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. You gotta get it how you live. So it's almost like, I mean, that's nothing. So yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I feel like anyone can pay for that. But,
yeah, it's cheap. I would not. If every 3 months I lost $8 out of my debit card, I wouldn't even think twice about it. Like, oh, okay, it's just that. Like, it's not like how it is a Microsoft to Sony. $30 comes out of $25 or $60 comes out, and I'm like, crap, that was gas money. Like, $8 ain't gas money. $8 is like something at Taco Bell. Like, I'm not worried about it. I'm okay with it.
Right. That's
now,
like,
oh, go ahead.
Especially like the $4, $3.99. That's like something like I'd have left on my card. Like, okay, yeah. I just paid for like my Netflix for the month, and now I have a really odd number of like $3. I was like, just throw it on the Switch. Like, it's something that shouldn't even. It's not even a sweat, honestly. Where the PS4 is like, that's like an extra bill on top of like all of your other adult bills. So it's like, yeah, it's starkly different.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with that pricing. It's nothing. Like, it's that pricing is
hard to complain about.
Yeah, it's super hard to complain about it. So I'm okay with it. I have nothing negative to say about the pricing, or the features you get. Because, like, for example, you're getting the features based on the price you're paying anyway. And, like, the features aren't super, like, robust like it is on the other systems. But at the same time, the other systems aren't really giving you much either. So it's like,
right.
So, like, the amount you're paying for what you're getting, it's still fine.
I do think even then, it has still, I personally think it still has, like, a better value than the other two. Even if it was $60, I still think it has a better value because it's usually with PlayStation and Xbox, it's like some shitty indie game that no one wanted. Yeah. And clearly you won't play it. So it's like, but with Nintendo, like, it's NES games. These are some of the greatest games to like ever exist. And it's like Nintendo's giving you a library of them. And I think that if you get off of the service and you get back on, you continue with your library that you had whilst you were on the service.
Yep.
So it's like, as long as you, and where it's PlayStation, if you don't pay for like a month, all of your games disperse. Like, you'll never see those games again. So it's like, right. So I do think even then, if it was $60, it would be a way better value. But it's $3, it's $20, which is it's insane for me. I think that would work real well with me.
Even the family membership, which is what I'm going to be getting, is the family one. That's still nothing. Like,
right.
I have no choice but to get the family one because Rebecca plays too.
Rebecca, yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca and my girlfriend. So, hell, even my friend Bradley, he might even join the family one, and we'll all be paying like no money still. So, we'll just throw all of our money into a bucket and then give it to Nintendo. No.
Right.
And plus that family is for 12 months. So, like, just go to the store, everybody throw their money down on the counter, grab a card, boom, done.
And how much is that? Like $35?
Yep, right here, $35.99, which is still really cheap for an entire group. A Nintendo account holder may invite up to 7 others to join a family group. All members of the group will have access to Nintendo Online. That's a steal. So that's me, my friend Bradley, my girlfriend, Rebecca. Shit, that's just 4 of us. Hey, Will, you want to join the family?
Yeah.
All right, that's 5 right there. I mean, you join us for free, my friend. That's 5 people right there.
Yeah,
literally. So it's like, that's cheap. I still have 2 more people I can invite. So it's like, there, the family.
I mean, if you want to pay for me too, let's do this.
Hey, come on, join the party. I got 1 more guy.
Well, and it's funny because, and I heard you guys were talking about this. So I have a buddy that I work with that does not. I mean, he's 40 years old. Okay, plays a lot of these games, just like we do. Or on PlayStation Plus, and I asked him. I said, "Why?" He goes, it's too expensive. I said, how much did you just spend on getting Forza Motorsport 7? He goes, $60. I was like, how long is that game going to last you? He's like, probably at least another 6-7 months. I said, for another 5 more months, you could have like the capabilities of playing online with it and have a blast for an entire year. Like, why? Not to mention, if you think about it, Xbox is now giving you technically 4 games a month.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're giving you a lot.
So
and Microsoft gives good games too. They give you classic, and they give you a classic one. This is how they do it every month. They give you a classic game, Xbox exclusive game, an indie game, and a classic indie game. So they give you 4 things, and out of the 4, you gotta like something.
Well, but I mean, even if you didn't, like, there's been a couple months where they've put stuff out, and I'm just kind of like, like it doesn't really appeal to me. Whatever, you know. But it's a case of they're giving you 4 games. Now you do the math. You do 4. You times that by 12. You know, that's 48 games every year that they are giving you. Almost a solid 50 games. And they're allowing you to play online. And you have, you know, like, just...
It's worth it.
You sit, well, and then if you sit back and you take $60 and you divide it by 12, that's like, what, $5 a month?
Yeah, I'm paying $70 a year for my Xbox because I have the Game Pass as well, which is a phenomenal idea in my opinion. I love my Game Pass. It's great. Even if I own out of 100 games, I own about 95 of them. But at least with the newer titles coming out, I don't need to buy State of Decay. I can play it on Game Pass. I don't need to buy Sea of Thieves. I can play it on Game Pass. But when they take it off Game Pass, I will be buying it. But overall, that still gives me a little bit more use that I can get out of like any membership that they have.
Well, here's my biggest thing, and this is why I would push for Game Pass 110%, and this is what I'm going to actually be doing with it, okay? So I don't currently pay for it because I don't play that many games. Like, if there's games, like, if there's, you know, when Halo comes out, when Forza Horizon 4 drops, you know, which inevitably will, yeah. I already know I like those games. I'm going to buy them. You know, I want those for as long as I want. You know, I don't want to have to worry about, you know, buying them at a later date. But if there's another game, say if it was, you know, just for sake of conversation, say I've never played a Crackdown game and Crackdown 3 drops. Okay, and it's going to go up on Games Pass. I've never played it. There's not a quote-unquote demo for it. But if I spend $10, I get an entire 30 days to try this game out and see if I like it. And if I do, then it's at a discounted price for me to turn around and buy the game. Or I can spend, if I didn't, you know, if I really liked it and I wanted some more time with it, I just spend another $10 and I get it for another 30 days. It's like, they've literally turned like that whole thing into like a demo system now, which is awesome. You know, like, I wish Sony did that with PlayStation Now. Like, I wish that they would put a lot of their newer titles on there and say, hey, you know what? Here's PlayStation Now. We've revamped the whole thing. We're putting new titles out there. It's like a Netflix type of subscription. You can pay $10 and you can try out these new games for, you know, 30 days. I'd be fucking sold because, again, if it's a new game, I can pay the $10 and I can try it. And we don't have to really worry about these demos anymore that they've pretty much neglected to put out there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Game Pass is a beautiful idea, and I feel like it should be...
I don't disagree with you.
Embraced
Man,
a little more.
Xbox is, I mean, well, I should say Microsoft is just, they're on a roll, honestly.
The Games Pass is a fantastic idea.
But yeah, let's move on. So we've talked about the pricing of the Nintendo Online and Nintendo Online in general, so there's not much else to cover there. So are you guys fully aware of this? So this corresponds with the Pokemon Let's Go. This is pretty funny because Pokemon Company's official website actually has Eevee and Pikachu being showcased there. Giving more to this Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
And the fact that it's a yellow background.
Yeah, making it even more obvious. Like they put all this out, and then there's this trademark that I have here, for it in English. I don't know how many people have actually seen this. A lot of people have only seen it in Japanese. But yeah, this is the one for American audiences. Let's Go Pikachu, and there's also the Let's Go Eevee as well. I don't know how many people have seen it, but it is a thing. And they've also had a little bit of artwork that they have put out that some people have kind of thrown together to try and simulate what the cover could or would look like. But what are you guys' thoughts on this Pokemon game? So basically... Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to add to that. The Pokemon Twitter, over the past like month or so, have been posting multiple pictures of various Pokemon merchandise. And almost every single picture has specifically made sure to have Eevee and Pikachu in them. So that's really cool. Also, Nintendo of New York, the Nintendo New York store, whatever, that Twitter, it basically has a big group photo with the whole Pokemon team, and the lead guy behind it, I forget his name for some reason, blasphemy. He's holding a Pikachu and he's holding an Eevee. Only those two Pokemon, nothing else, and he's smiling hard as crap. And there are like two more people in the background holding a Pikachu and holding an Eevee. So it's sounding to me like this might have some. I mean, like, to be honest, I don't think it can be a coincidence at this point. It's got to have some weight to it. So yeah, overall, that's kind of what I'm thinking about it.
Well,
it's
you knew
crazy.
Eevee was supposed to be the original flagship character for Pokemon, right?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, Eevee was if you read the original Pokemon comic books, the original ones, I actually even own those. Although I only have one print of the Japanese one. Japanese Pokemon back in the day was messed up. They used to actually kill each other. There was blood. There's a scene where Pikachu's eating a Rattata. But anyway, Eevee was the main Pokemon. Team Rocket abducts an Eevee and experiments on it. And the Eevee that Red actually keeps with him on the Pokemon series can transform at any time into any of its forms. That was an experiment that Team Rocket had done to it. Because Team Rocket was a little bit more devious in the comics. So you had Eevee, which was the main Pokemon of Red, and then he also got a Pikachu, and he received a reward for getting Pikachu, because Pikachu was wreaking havoc on the city and destroying things and getting into stuff and stealing. So Eevee and Pikachu ended up being the two main Pokemon. Now, after reworking the story, Eevee ended up being the Pokemon for the other guy. So there was Pokemon Trainer Red, Pokemon Trainer Blue, or Green if it's Japan, because Blue is actually a girl, I believe, for America. I can't remember. But either way, Pokemon Trainer Red had Pikachu. Pokemon Trainer Green had Eevee. As that was the rework for it. So that's kind of the point of the rivals having Pokemon Go Pikachu and Pokemon Go Eevee, is that Eevee is pretty much the rivals' other form, depending on which side you go from.
Sounds like, yeah, that's really interesting. And I know, I don't know, but I hear from a lot of people that one of the, I'd say the most iconic antagonist of the series, Giovanni.
Yep.
His main Pokemon is an Eevee. So that sort of goes to what you were saying there. It's like two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. Eevee is pretty iconic. It's like I think a lot of people sort of dismiss it and like, why Eevee out of all Pokemon? It's like, why not Eevee out of all Pokemon?
Yeah, Eevee was literally the original flagship, and it's the only Pokemon with as many forms as it has for a reason. Every Pokemon game that came out, people would go, what form will Eevee take this time? Every game that came out, Eevee had a new form. Right. And it still stayed that way.
Really popular. And I caught 3 Eevee. This isn't even related, but I caught 3 Eevee with Pokemon Go, and I got all of them to all the different forms and stuff. And I like, overall, I'm sure a lot of casuals, and I guess that has a negative connotation, but I think it's pretty positive. Sort of view Eevee is cool, like one of the coolest. So yeah.
So basically the details of this game, it's supposed to play like a regular Pokemon game. Although, catching Pokemon, if you're in handheld mode, is supposed to be like Pokemon Go, where you swipe. If you're in console dock mode, you use the Joy-Con or whatever controller you're using. Well, if you're using the Joy-Con, you would actually toss like you would with the Pokeball. My question is what you would do with the Pro Controller, because that's how I play. They said the HM system and TM system is supposed to be like Pokemon Sun and Moon. But overall, the game is supposed to be more of the lines of a traditional Pokemon game. And people are jumping the gun. It is not a remake of Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow. It's supposed to take place in Kanto, yes. But you are a new trainer. Red and Blue are in the game, but you are a new trainer. They're in the game in the outskirts of the storyline. That's something people need to understand. People are like, I don't want to buy this game because it's a remake. It's not a remake. It takes place in the same town, years in the future. But the original trainers are either... Let's rephrase that from years in the future. The original trainers are either supposed to be adults, and you're a part of their story, or they're around your age. But regardless, you are a new trainer. It's not a remake.
Yeah, I know there are some. I mean, as far as like, I think it's only a matter of time before these blasphemous people are obliterated by Nintendo when they're showing the error of their ways. But yeah, I know a lot of people are really apprehensive about revisiting past places.
Which
Pokemon
is I don't know. Regardless, it's just like it's the Call of Duty effect. We'll call it that. It's the Call of Duty effect. People will complain and bitch all they'd like. They're still buying the game, and the game is still going to sell.
Right.
Or the Sonic effect. We can call it that too. Every Sonic game that comes out does really, 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 really well. Doesn't mean the game is good. So, like, regardless, it's going to sell. They're going to shut up and buy the game anyway. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So
there are a million people are like, you know, if it's like this, it's I'm not gonna buy it. If it's like that, I'm not gonna buy it. But you are gonna buy it, and you're gonna love it anyways.
Yep.
Like,
so
there are a lot of people saying, if Call of Duty doesn't have a story mode this time, I'm not gonna buy it. That was when it was a rumor that it didn't have a story mode. Obviously, it's confirmed now, and those same people are like, "OMG, so hyped!" So it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's yeah, and people that complained about Call of Duty not having the story mode, most people didn't even care about it anyway. That's what I also find dumb. It's like people like don't care about it, but then when they get it, they take it out. They are upset about it. Like I care about it.
Right.
I actually bought it for that, but that's not the point. That's not the point.
Right.
But yeah, it's Pokemon. It's gonna do well. Can you really think of a Pokemon game that was bad and not well received? Because I can't. Even the games I hated the most, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which I actually have the special edition GameCube right here, you know, just for anyone that cares. And this is what I stream with when I do GameCube games. But anyway, Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon Gale of Darkness were the two shittiest Pokemon games I've ever played in my life.
Right.
And they were still well received, and people really liked them, and they sold very, very well. So, regardless, people are going to buy it, people are going to like it. Even if they don't like it, they're going to like it anyway. So, yeah. There's not really much else we can say about Pokemon. Other than...
They're going to be playing them like, I hate this game. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, right? Now, let's talk about features. I mean, you said you don't personally like or play Pokemon, one of the two.
Oh, no, I like Pokemon.
You're going to buy this new one.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it.
Oh, yeah, you're going to.
I've never had the opportunity to like play a Pokemon game, honestly.
Oh my god!
Like to completely honest, I've never had the opportunity to play one. I look at all the anime, I look at all the movies, every single like side thing. I played spin-off Pokemon games.
Hold on.
Some of the mystery dungeon games are like one of my favorite series ever. I just haven't had the opportunity to play like a mainline Pokemon game, honestly.
Okay. One question. Do you have 3DS?
No, not anymore.
Man.
I'm all in on the Switch.
I mean, let's be real.
I
though.
understand that, but hold on.
Let's be real though. There are some people that don't like handheld consoles though, so it's understandable.
And we
when
call
someone...
them heathens.
I mean, we do, but
No. Okay, so one, I mean, I'm all in on the Switch too, but I still have my 3DS, and I still love that thing, even for as much as I want that thing to just kind of go away now and die silently.
well, yeah, because I mean, I have this 3DS model, the new 3DS model, the original with the customizable plates. I have the 2DS Pokemon thing with the button that doesn't do anything, and I have my other 2DS that I actually use to live stream with. So,
Well, I've got just like the cool like white Mario edition new 3DS.
That one is cool.
I was gonna say, if you still had your 3DS, you could go spend like the $7 or $12 or whatever and get the old like red, blue, yellow, gold, whatever. Like they've got pretty much all of them out there on that virtual console. And I mean, I'll tell you, I grew up playing, like, Red was my very first Pokemon game, and I fucking loved that. And then I went and bought Blue, and then I bought Yellow, and I've beaten each and every single one of those. And, I mean, yeah.
that reminds me.
You need to play them.
Why are people even caring about Virtual Console? Like, it's just a name. It's literally just a name. When I get on my 3DS or my Wii U and I buy a game, I don't go to a section called Virtual Console. I just get on, I see a 64 game, and I just buy it.
Well, they actually do on the 3DS have a
section
specific
called
area
Virtual
called
Console. Like, they really don't need to name it. They can literally just release, like,
well, and I think that's what they're
Minish
going to
Cap
start
for the
doing.
Switch, and I just download it for $10.
Well, that's, I mean, okay, so here's the reason why, you know, just real quick here, why I know for a fact that Virtual Console is not going to ever die or go away. One, because I know for a fact that they make a shit ton of money off that, because a lot of people like to go back and play the old games. I will be honest with you, I've gone back and I've bought the original Super Mario Brothers, the 2D side-scroller. That's a fucking fantastic game. You know, I'm going to go back and play that. Another reason is because they've released older games through the, you know, onto the Switch already, and it's not under Virtual Console tagline.
Yep.
Exactly. So, it's a whole new branding. And what I like about that, it's called Arcade Archives.
Yes.
I know what you're talking
Thank
about.
you.
Arcade,
was the
the ACA.
term I was looking for.
Right. It's really cool because it's a way for them, if it's applicable, to, you know, because Super Mario Brothers, I know what you're talking about, when they're actually underground and they're destroying monsters, they're just going ham on monsters. They have unreleased animations from Japan and stuff, or stuff that just simply didn't program in the game, and that allows them to put it inside the game and sell it back to us. So now I see, like, hence the name Arcade Archives. So I think that's pretty cool. Like, I think that eventually that's going to turn into our new Virtual Console, and once it, I think, gets to GameCube, we could see some cut Super Mario Sunshine content, or like Wind Waker content, or something like that. I don't know.
Well, hopefully.
Well, let's talk about now this new Star Fox Grand Prix. What are you guys' thoughts on Star Fox Grand Prix?
Is that real?
This right here?
Yeah.
I hope they don't fuck it up like they did the last Star Fox game.
Wrong picture. I shouldn't have put that on the screen. Star Fox Grand Prix. So, with the Star Fox Grand Prix, so I hear recently it's not even supposed to be like F-Zero either. Apparently that was incorrect. It being like Diddy Kong Racing or F-Zero is still sort of incorrect, apparently. So, it's a little up in the air what exactly we're supposed to be getting with that. I don't even know what else to say. There's really not much to say about it. Basically, what we can do is just speculate how we think it's going to be, or what features we think the game should have. And the only thing I can really say is it's no different than how Star Fox probably originally played. You're just you're going on a circle rather than, you know, rather than point A to point B, you do laps. Because Star Fox is always point A to point B. You add a lap system to it, and it's still Star Fox. Right. I kind of feel like it's going to play like regular Star Fox still, just racing instead. I don't think there's going to be too big of a difference, to be really honest.
I know we talked about it. We had a whole like little video thing on it.
Yeah.
But I'm super hyped that I guess who was it? Eurogamer. They specifically mentioned like at least a little influence from Diddy Kong Racing, which just makes my head spin for like multiple reasons. I love Diddy Kong Racing, but yeah, I agree. I think there should be like, it's very interesting because I know that there will be a lot of overlap with that and F-Zero, because it's a Nintendo racing property, so like where is that at? And a lot of people are concerned with that. I think that's an interesting dynamic to discuss. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's not really much we can say about this game, so we might have to move on because we don't have anything on it. There's just nothing on it in general. But I guess the last topic that we have to go over is PlayStation. I don't really know what to say about them as far as like E3 or anything that's coming out. There's really nothing to say. Not from my side, that is. There's really nothing to say. I can't think of anything. Well, Ghost of Tsushima. Let's talk about that. There's nothing on Ghost of Tsushima. We can't really talk about Ghost of Tsushima. The most I can talk about with Ghost of Tsushima is that it's being developed and co-made by one of my absolute, like, people that made one of my absolute favorite games called Way of Samurai. I own every single Way of Samurai game. I love Way of Samurai, and I'm hoping Ghost of Tsushima is like that. That's all I can really say about Sony.
I do think who is it? Sucker Punch?
Yeah.
I'm kind of the opposite there. Like I'm pretty sure they make the Sly Cooper games. And I was kind of hoping for a Sly Cooper last year, but I know that Sony doesn't really, that's not really a genre that they sort of relate themselves with anymore. So I'm kind of excited to see what this Ghost of Tsushima thing is. I almost botched the name there, but yeah.
Tsushima. Yeah.
Tsushima.
I don't know. Way of Samurai is one of my absolute favorite games. Anybody with a Steam account, the third and fourth one are available. I recommend those two games. But Ghost of Tsushima, I'm hoping it's similar to that. But was there anything you two wanted to say about Sony at all? Anything that they're doing or...
I mean, yeah, like you said, kind of anything outside of what they've already announced for E3 and everything. Which, I mean, we can talk... I would say I almost kind of want to save stuff like that for like maybe a little bit of a later episode as far as talking about like their stuff for E3, because I mean we are inevitably going to have an E3 episode that's probably going to be, I'd say, about this length, just because we're going to end up talking about what everybody's going to be possibly bringing to the table, and it's going to be mixed in with our E3 predictions too.
Yeah, and this is the longest Pulse Chat they'll ever have, just because we are kind of catching up on a lot of different things right now. We're going to try and have only 3 topics instead of 4, so that it's not as long, since we can condense the topics a little bit, just kind of base it all around a specific thing, rather than a specific country, around a specific company, rather than a thing. It makes it a little bit easier to condense. So we're going to have 3 topics. But since there was just so much stuff that we had not covered, it was good to just have a really long one now.
Just know that the next episode's Europe only, so just letting you know.
God. But, yeah, there's nothing really to talk about with Sony. Guess we'll just check that one off. The Q&A part, I don't necessarily see a point of it. There's not many people here. If you guys have any questions, you definitely can shoot them forward. If you don't, we can definitely just end here. So I'll just wait just a second, because it is just Robotech and Candyman at the moment. Yeah. Silence. I'm hungry. I can smell food.
I have, while we've been doing this, I have literally killed.
Do you sleep, Andy?
Do I sleep?
4, 5, 6,
I have a
7.
hard time sleeping. I barely.
I've killed 8 candy bars.
Wow. No, I have a hard time sleeping. Sleeping's not my thing. I always go to sleep at like 4 in the morning, and then I wake up at like 12 o'clock.
Holy
and then I
shit.
go about my day. I only get about 6 hours. My body doesn't let me get less than that. Or more than that, excuse me. So, I'm typically awake at all times. There's only a 6-hour period where I'm not.
Robotech Bro says he's got a question, but he has not said what his question is.
It's probably a really long question.
Probably is. You should just start it off with like chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Do you think I should wait for summer to buy a graphics card? Yes, you should wait till summer, because then there's going to be sales. All right, guys, so this is where we're going to end the Pulse Chat. Thank you for joining. You know we'll be doing this every single Friday. To anybody that actually sat through this entire thing as a regular recording and watched it, thank you for watching the entire recording of this, I guess. This is something we're going to do every Friday. Next Friday, we're going to start giveaways for it as well. But, yeah, go visit Will's channel. It is Lil Will the Deity. We'll have all that stuff linked and everything better for the next one. But this is something we're going to kick off now. But either way, I will see you guys later.
Bye.
Pulschat.